committee that's in formation that includes Fred Mason, who is the former president of the Maryland and DC AFL-CIO Council, Ricardo Jones, who's actually chairing this, but she's on the way from another meeting from 1199 SEIU and the Fight for 15, Reverend C.D. Witherspoon, David McClure, who will be hearing from, who's the president of this local, who's in a big battle, Courtney Jenkins from the APWU and the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, Andre Powell from AFSCME, he's a delegate of the Metropolitan Baltimore AFL-CIO Council, and many, many others. And I know of these people, and there's a lot of people that will be recognizing tonight. But I don't want to talk for long, because we want to give most of the time to the audience here. After Victor Manuel Lemagne Sanchez speaks, then we're going to open the floor up. But we do have a few brief comments or introductions. And without further ado, I want to make sure that President McClure of this local 1300 of Amalgamated Transit Workers Union, that he is able to welcome us to the hall.
Well, thank you. How's everybody doing today? Great. Well, it's a privilege and it's an honor to have you here today. Welcome you to come to Amalgamated Transit Union. This is Local 1300. I am the president and business agent. And I recognize that we all have some struggles in our time in our lives. And if you're trying to get a job or need some work somewhere, we all have that same struggle going on. We've been having our battle with this Baltimore link. I'm pretty sure people are familiar with that. We've been fighting that. We've gone to MTA to try to get them to make changes and not even actually bring it about to no avail. We've had a town hall meeting, which was very successful. And I see some faces here that was actually at that meeting, so we really appreciate that. But nevertheless, we are looking to try to get a people's union for the riders. And I'm hoping that, many people actually participate and join. I think it will be a success for the riders. I know that MTA has had an opportunity to try to have riders against the operators and all, when in fact it's not the operators' fault for these schedules that are being implemented. We've gone to no avail with asking MTA to take a look at what they're trying to bring about. You've actually turned people's lives upside down. That's what you've done. You come and you just put in a complete overhaul with this transit system. And folks are really enduring hardship because of it. It's unfortunate that some people are actually losing their jobs because they can't get to where they need to be. So instead of calling it the Baltimore link, I've named it the Baltimore missing link because no one is getting where they need to be. So without that, I don't want to take too much time. I want to take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Victor Manuel Lemagne Sanchez to Baltimore, and it's a pleasure and honor to have you here, being in our local. And it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. I want to also make sure that I recognize two people that are key to this event and key to a lot of other events. Leslie Salgado, who's done a lot when it comes to translation. Morales Musa. Translating is very, very hard work, and they're doing it for free, for the struggle for cause. We had, I don't know if Jermaine Jones has gotten here yet. He is. Oh, good, because we have you on the agenda. So we have brief opening welcomes from three very important people who represent a whole lot in Baltimore City. Everybody knows Fred Mason, who's the former president of the Maryland and DC AFL-CIO Council, Jermaine Jones, who's the president of the Metropolitan Baltimore AFL-CIO Council, and Basma Craig, who is representing Baltimore youth tonight at Cuban Sanchez. So I'll call each of them up separately. They represent a lot here in Baltimore City. So, Fred.
gatherings. When I was sitting over there with my brother and good friend, Reverend Hathaway, the senior pastor at Union Baptist Church. And I go to church every now and then, and sometimes I hear the ministers say that, what was it, when they're two gathered?
2 or 3 are gathered in my name.
Right. So we're gathered here today in the name of peace and goodwill throughout the world. So I know that there's a lot of goodness, a lot of good spirits floating out there. And so I want to thank you for keeping that spirit alive. A couple things I want to touch on. Earlier today, we met with the executive vice president of the AFL-CIO. First time that there had been that kind of union-to-union dialogue in the past 25 years. Victor's presence here today is the first time that a labor leader from the Cuban Federation has been in the United States. The translator asked me, said, well, Fred, well, you know, what's your interest in Cuba? And I thought about it. And I said that when the Black liberation movement in this country was in need of friends from around the world, it was Fidel Castro that stood up. He said that he didn't want to stay in the swank hotels. He wanted to stay in Harlem. And so I'm always impressed by the picture of Fidel and Malcolm X. So I consider Malcolm a friend, Malcolm a friend of not only black people, but a friend of all working people and all people that struggle for progress and liberty. So as the saying goes, you know, if you're a friend of my friend, then you're a friend of mine also. When liberation movements were taking place in different parts of the world, and I'm reminded particularly of Angola, fighting the system of apartheid there. It was Cuba that sent over 5,000 warriors to support that struggle. Nobody, no country has done more to spread the spirit of internationalism and international solidarity than Cuba. And what Cuba also means for me, as an African American, growing up, spent over 70 years in this environment that has a whole lot of problems. Many of them are pressure problems. What Cuba signals for the world is that another world is possible. Today, that we need to look at the labor movement in this country having a voice in this dialogue. The labor movement can play a mighty role, a critical role, in building a bridge over these 90 miles of water that separates our people. We have a responsibility to take that on. We can't leave it up to the current administration to take us backwards. We applaud President Barack Obama. We applaud the priests for the gigantic steps that they have taken in terms of bridging and building solidarity among the American people and the Cuban people. And as we, what is it? Viva la Revolución! Yeah.
I'd like to get President Jermaine Jones of the Baltimore, President of Metropolitan Baltimore AFL-CIO Council. Andre will get mad, I always say you type it wrong.
I'll be really brief. I just want to say thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I think this is a tremendous opportunity we have here, not only for Baltimore, but the entire country. We have something very special here that doesn't happen often, and I just want everyone to realize that. And just give a round of applause to everyone who put in a lot of work to make sure this happens. Just here in Baltimore, in the metropolitan area, we have an opportunity in front of us as well when it comes to jobs, apprenticeship training, and providing opportunities for folks. This is something that we can do here, but it's also something we can do throughout the entire world and other countries as well. So I just want to say, as we think about, the issues we have in the city and the ways and the challenges we have in front of us, and the things we need to move forward and look at to overcome some of those challenges, apprenticeship programs and training is key. We don't always have to reinvent the wheel, but sometimes we can just look back at the past to figure out what has worked to help get us here. And because in some way and somehow we sometimes get off track. And when it comes to providing real opportunity for people, such as jobs and training, it has a tremendous impact. And it's something that we don't only need to replicate here in Baltimore, but throughout the world, and see how it works and things we can do better as we move forward. I represent over 120,000 workers throughout the metropolitan area, and I just want to say we're here in support of what's going on here, and we're here in support to make sure that we implement not only the things that have worked in the past throughout Baltimore, but throughout the world as well. So I'm here to learn additionally about some of the things that are going on and figure out what we can do better, what we can do to help our brothers and sisters in other areas, and also here in Baltimore City, because we have challenges here. When we figure out works here, we can use everywhere else. And when we figure out works in other areas, we can use here. So I just want to say thank you again for having me and allowing me to speak. I'm excited to see the room full of people here to learn more about what's going on and what we can do to help make real change. Because that's what today is about, just real change and about what we can do to actually make an impact. So I just want to say thank you to everyone here, and thank you to everyone for helping make today possible.
I want to bring up our last person who's going to present is Basma Gregg, and I'm going to go off script because Basma is sort of my hero, and frankly, we have to have young people because we're passing the torch to the youth. And I say that because, along with Muhammad, who's in the middle of the audience, they were down in front of the Venezuelan embassy, facing off these right-wingers, supporting Maduro and the Venezuelan people not too long ago. So she was in the front lines of the
Thank you for coming and welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Basma. And at this point, I'd like to, with no further ado, turn the program over to Victor Manuel Lemagne Sanchez and Caridad Morales Musa, who will be translating. He has a PowerPoint for us, so I'm going to have both of you take over this part. And when they're finished, we'll open up for questions and other messages of solidarity, because there's a lot of notable community, union, and also youth organizers in this group that may want to say something.
Thank you.
Bueno, ante todo quisiera expresar nuestro agradecimiento
thank you for this.
En nombre del pueblo cubano y sus trabajadores,
On behalf of the Cuban people and the working class,
por la acogida que he recibido aquí en Estados Unidos desde el 27 hasta la fecha.
for the way you have welcomed me from the 27 until today.
Agradecer a los organizadores, en especial al Sindicato del Transporte y a los grupos de solidaridad de Baltimore,
I thank you, the Trade Union of Transportation and the Solidarity groups in Baltimore,
por esta oportunidad.
for this opportunity.
Y como me antecedieron los líderes sindicales que estuvieron expresando estas palabras,
And since before I started, so there were three trade union leaders who expressed
es un momento oportuno,
themselves.
es un momento oportuno para estrechar las relaciones de trabajo entre los pueblos y trabajadores de Estados Unidos y de Cuba.
And this is a very important moment to have a link, a stronger link between the workers from the United States and the workers from Cuba.
Como se expresó hace alrededor de casi 20 años que no se le aprobaba una visa a un dirigente sindical de Cuba.
As said before, this is the first time after 20 years that a trade unionist is granted a visa to visit Cuba.
Nos pudiéramos preguntar por qué tal vez no se quiere que se conozca la realidad de Cuba.
We could ask why they did that. Maybe because they didn't want people to know the reality of Cuba,
Lo que realiza su pueblo y sus trabajadores,
what Cuba and its workers are doing,
porque hay conquistas de nuestro proyecto social que la mantenemos y la estamos manteniendo en estos 55 años de revolución,
because we have achieved many things that in these 55 years of revolution we have been able to keep,
como la educación y la salud que es gratuita,
like education and health care, that both of them are free,
el vínculo con la cultura y el deporte,
the link with culture and sports.
el presupuesto del Estado cubano dedica un 20% de ese presupuesto a la salud, a la educación,
The 20% of the state budget is dedicated to the education,
y un 30% a la salud,
and a 30% of the state budget is dedicated to
y ambos presupuestos suman más del 50% del presupuesto del Estado en función del pueblo y sus trabajadores.
And if you add that, this is more than the 50% of what the state dedicates to its peoples and the workers.
La historia del movimiento sindical cubano data del año 1939.
Since 1939, so that was the beginning of the trade union struggle in Cuba.
Fundada por el líder sindical Lázaro Peña,
Founded by the trade union leader Lázaro Peña,
20 años antes que triunfara la revolución.
20 years before the triumph of the revolution.
Hoy la unidad de los cubanos y sus trabajadores está a la fuerza,
So the unity between the workers, de los trabajadores,
está a la fuerza.
is the strength.
Contamos con 3.200.000 trabajadores en Cuba,
We count with 3,200,000 workers in Cuba,
con 3 fuentes de afiliación, los trabajadores estatales,
and we have 3 different trade unions. The state,
los trabajadores no estatales que son los trabajadores hoy privados,
the small business people that they are not related to the state,
que ya suman ya en nuestro país más de 500.000,
and there are more than 500,000 new small business in Cuba.
y los trabajadores jubilados, que son una fuerza que son generadoras de la experiencia y contribución
And the,
a los jóvenes trabajadores.
and the retired workers, that they are a source of experience for the new generation.
Pero algo interesante antes de exponerle a ustedes el impacto que ha tenido el bloqueo durante estos 55 años a nuestro país,
But before I start talking about the impact of the blockade during the 55 years of the revolution,
expresarle que los trabajadores organizados en sus sindicatos representan el 97,2% de los trabajadores sindicalizados en Cuba.
I would like to tell you that 97.2% of the Cuban workers, they are affiliated in different trade unions.
Aunque los organizadores lo han explicado y están en la información que ustedes se le han informado,
Even though I know that you have that information because the organizing committee has given you all the data,
soy diputado ante el Parlamento cubano
I am a deputy to the Cuban Assembly,
representando a los trabajadores del turismo en Cuba
and I represent the tourist workers in Cuba,
y miembro del Ejecutivo de la Central Obrera Cubana, única central sindical en Cuba.
and I am a member of the executive branch of the National Trade Union, which is unique in Cuba.
Contamos con 16 sindicatos que en el caso ustedes denominan uniones, sindicatos nacionales, ramales.
So we have 16 different trade unions that you call here uniones. Unions, that's the way you call it in here.
Y cada sindicato está organizado por rama de la economía.
And every trade union is organized according to the different branches of work in Cuba.
La sindicalización en Cuba es consciente y voluntaria.
So in Cuba, people are affiliated voluntarily and by conscience.
Su contribución y pago a la organización es a través del propio sindicato con el trabajador.
So people contributed to the trade union in a personal way.
No se hace rebada por nómina en el salario.
It means that it is not deducted from people's salary.
Hay una participación activa en la toma de decisiones de las principales leyes que tienen que ver con los trabajadores.
And the trade unions have a very active participation in the decision making of any legislation related to the work that could affect workers.
Y para la satisfacción nuestra, muchos de los asuntos que los líderes sindicales en Estados Unidos tienen que llevar a contratos de trabajo, en Cuba lo establece la Constitución y el Código de Trabajo.
And we have a labor code and the Constitution that they work for us, and it is implemented in the Constitution, all the regulations, something that here the trade unions, they have to negotiate and have a contract with the state to get some of your rights.
Hay igualdad de género.
In Cuba, we have gender equality.
La mujer trabajadora tiene una alta participación en la sociedad.
Women have a very high role and participation in the society.
Los jóvenes tienen un lugar importante en Cuba.
Young people have a very important place in Cuba.
Y algo que hemos señalado en diferentes estados y encuentros de solidaridad,
And something that I have said in different states and solidarity events,
hay que darle participación a la juventud.
we have to give participation to young people.
Son las nuevas generaciones que tomarán la continuidad de nuestra acción.
Because they are the new generation who will continue with the work we have been doing.
That's right.
Esto permítame entonces, porque el programa lo han concebido de esta manera,
And because the program has a time frame, so let me start with the PowerPoint presentation.
poderlo actualizar en tiempo real la situación del bloqueo económico, comercial y financiero impuesto a Cuba por los Estados Unidos.
And I bring in a presentation where I'm going to update you on what is happening in Cuba due to the financial, commercial, and economic blockade imposed to Cuba.
Vamos a mostrarles algunos antecedentes.
So these are some of the antecedents to the blockade.
El bloqueo económico, comercial y financiero impuesto por los Estados Unidos a Cuba data del 7 de febrero de 1962.
Since February 7, 1962, this blockade, economic, commercial, and financial blockade imposed by the United States started.
Hace 55 años, por lo que se considera la sanción más larga de la historia de la humanidad impuesta a una nación.
This blockade is considered the longest sanction in history of humanity imposed to a nation because it has been for 55 years.
Los antecedentes que rigen la política del bloqueo son
The antecedents to this policy are
Ley de Comercio con el Enemigo de 1917,
1970 treaty with the enemy law,
la cual aplica sanciones económicas y prohibición del comercio con Cuba.
and this law applies economic sanctions and commercial prohibition, and it is the oldest legislation of this kind that keeps Cuba's actives blocked, and it was renovated on the September 11, 2015 by President Obama.
Ley de Asistencia Exterior aprobada en 1961 autorizó al presidente de Estados Unidos a mantener el embargo total al comercio con Cuba.
Since 1961, there is a law of foreign assistance that authorized the United States president to keep an embargo, a complete commercial embargo to Cuba. So it means that that prohibition allows that is a prohibition that doesn't allow the Cuban government to get any kind of help from American funds that that they are for international help.
Es decir, impidiendo que el uso de fondos norteamericanos destinados a la ayuda internacional.
So you know that the United States dedicates funds to help internationally or other countries, so that doesn't happen in the case of Cuba.
Oigan esto de lo que data. Proclama presidencial 3447, emitida el 3 de febrero de 1962 por el presidente John F. Kennedy, decretó el embargo total del comercio entre los Estados Unidos y Cuba.
President John F. Kennedy, on February 3rd, 1962, by presidential execution, do we say execution? Proclamation. By Presidential Proclamation 304047. So he decided to have a total commercial embargo between the United States and Cuba.
En 1963, mediante las regulaciones para el control de activos cubanos del Departamento del Tesoro,
In 1963, through regulations to control the Cuban actives of the Treasury Department,
se decretó el congelamiento de todos los activos cubanos en los Estados Unidos, prohibiendo las transacciones financieras y comerciales.
the United States of America decided to prohibit any financial or commercial transactions, and all the money that Cuba had here in the United States were blocked.
Ley para la Administración de las Exportaciones 1979. El presidente de Estados Unidos mantiene una lista de países a los que ejerce un control especial de sus exportaciones.
The President of the United States keeps a list of countries that the United States government control their exportations towards Cuba, and that law, it is from 1979, and it is known as the Administration of Exportations Law.
Ley para la Administración de las Exportaciones 1979 establece la delegación para las exportaciones y reexportaciones a Cuba.
Meaning that this law established the negation of exportations and re-exportations to Cuba.
La ley llamada Ley Torricelli 1992 prohíbe a las compañías estadounidenses en terceros países comerciar bienes con Cuba o nacionales cubanos.
The Torricelli Law of 1992 proclaimed that American companies in third countries could not have commercial treatments with Cuba or Cuban nationals.
Prohíbe también, además, a los barcos de terceros países que toquen puertos cubanos entrar a territorio estadounidense en un plazo de 180 días.
So the American government also prohibited vessels of other countries to get into Cuban harbors, and later on to get into American territory in a period of 180 days, except those that they have a license with the Treasury Department.
Y esta es la que más ha recrudecido el bloqueo a Cuba. La llamada Ley Helburto de 1996, renovada año tras año por el presidente de los Estados Unidos, y se basa en la codificación de las disposiciones del bloqueo mediante la imposición de sanciones a directivos de empresas extranjeras que realicen transacciones con propiedades norteamericanas nacionalizadas en Cuba.
And the worst law from the United States to Cuba related to the blockade is the Helms-Burton of 1996 that is renovated every year by every president in their administration, and it is based on blocking any kind, it is based on sanctions that don't allow foreign enterprises to have transactions in Cuba in American properties that they were nationalized by the Cuban government.
La sección 211 de la Ley de Asignaciones Suplementarias y de Emergencia para el año fiscal 1999 prohibió el registro en Estados Unidos de marcas a propiedades nacionalizadas y el reconocimiento por los tribunales norteamericanos de los derechos de empresas cubanas sobre esas marcas.
The 211 section of the Supplementary Assignments Law and the emergency for the fiscal year 1999 prohibited any kind of registration of Cuban companies that they are part of the nationalizations of American properties in Cuba. And the acknowledgement for the United States court of the rights of Cuban enterprises to have those brands.
Ley de reformas a las sanciones comerciales, ampliación de las exportaciones del año 2000 autorizó la exportación de productos agrícolas a Cuba condicionado al pago en efectivo por adelantado y prohibió los viajes de norteamericanos con fines turísticos a Cuba.
In 2000, the law of reforms of the commercial sanctions and the amplification of the exportations to Cuba authorized the exportation of agricultural products. But this new business was conditioned to a cash payment ahead of time and also the prohibition of trips to Cuba of American people with tourists.
Del mundo donde no pueden visitar libremente un país. Eso es Cuba y tiene que ser a través de las 12 licencias que tiene aprobado el Departamento de Estado.
For you to know, so you American citizens are the only ones who are not authorized to visit another country like Cuba unless you go under one of the 12 categories that they are approved by the State Department.
Ahora bien, el presidente de los Estados Unidos tiene en sus manos la prerrogativa para modificarla sin la necesidad de acudir al Congreso, haciendo uso amplio de sus facultades ejecutivas.
So, as it is known, the President of the United States has the possibility of modifying without going to the Congress just by an executive order to change that.
Entre las que se destaca posibilitar a bancos y a empresas abrir cuentas correspondientes en bancos de los Estados Unidos.
And these are some of the things that a president can do as an executive order. One is to allow banks and companies to open accounts in America's banks.
Revertir la política de persecución financiera contra Cuba.
To reverse the financial persecution policy against Cuba.
Para que ustedes tengan una idea, si Cuba está haciendo alguna transacción con algún tercer país, allá va el Departamento del Tesoro persiguiendo para truncar que esa transacción financiera no se realice.
Just to give you an idea, if Cuba is having commercial business with another country, so officers from the Treasury Department just go over there to block that transaction that Cuba cannot have business with other countries.
Puede autorizar exportaciones directas de productos norteamericanos a empresas cubanas.
the United States President can authorize the direct exportations of American products to Cuban enterprises.
Autorizar a los ciudadanos de los Estados Unidos a recibir tratamiento médico en Cuba.
Also to authorize American citizens to receive medical treatment in Cuba.
Y como expresé con anterioridad, la prohibición de eliminar la entrada a puertos de los Estados Unidos durante 180 días a barcos que hayan transportado mercancía a Cuba.
As well as to eliminate the prohibition of getting into American ports during 180 days after those vessels has been transporting merchandise to Cuba.
Ahora bien, para que ustedes tengan una idea del impacto de esas medidas y de esas transacciones que son una persecución a nuestro país,
So for you to have an idea of what those actions have been detrimental to the country,
señalar algunas afectaciones después de el encuentro entre el general de ejército Raúl Castro, presidente de los consejos de Estado y de ministros, y el presidente Obama, aparecieron estas afectaciones que voy a mencionar.
so I'm going to mention some of the things that have been detriment and have affected Cuba after the meeting between the president of Cuba, Raúl Castro, and the president of the United States, Obama.
El 24 de noviembre del 2015, la subsidiaria de la empresa norteamericana Ferry en Namibia se negó a prestar sus servicios de mensajería internacional a la Embajada de Cuba debido a las regulaciones del bloqueo.
On November 24th, 2015, one of the franchise of the FedEx company in Namibia denied the service of international mail to the Cuban embassy in Windhoek due to the blockade regulations.
El 1 de abril del 2016 se conoció que el banco norteamericano Citibank rechazó los pagos de clientes de la empresa cubana Abanatur en Argentina.
So, on April 1st, 2016, we learned that the Citibank of the United States didn't allow the payments of clients of Havana Tour Enterprise in Argentina.
¿Qué es la empresa Abanatur? Bueno, Abanatur es el turoperador principal cubano que incluso asiste asistencia para los viajeros norteamericanos que visitan Cuba.
What is Havana Tour? Havana Tour is one of the main tourist operators in Cuba that assist even American citizens when they travel to Cuba.
En mayo del 2016, el Royal Bank de Canadá rechazó transferir en dólares canadienses el pago correspondiente a la cuota de membresía de Cuba a la Asociación de Estados del Caribe.
In May 2016, the Royal Bank of Canada rejected the transaction from in Canadian dollars of the payment for the membership of Cuba to the Caribbean States Association.
Bueno, elemento de esta afectación, como le dije inicialmente, el derecho a la salud en Cuba desde el triunfo revolucionario en enero de 1959, la salud es gratuita.
Other impact that we have, now I'm going to the public health. So the right to public health in Cuba, since the time of the revolution in January 1959, the public health is free.
El desarrollo médico alcanzado es innegable. No obstante, no ha estado exento de la aplicación rigurosa del bloqueo, ascendiendo los daños a más de 82 millones de dólares.
And even though it is well known all the medical development in Cuba that nobody can deny, nevertheless, we have been affected by the blockade. And the damages are in the figure of 82,723,876 and $18.
Un paréntesis y a la vez una anécdota que a mí en el orden personal me impactó en el recorrido.
And I'm going to stop right here for a minute to tell you an anecdote that in this visit has impacted me.
Una activista de solidaridad con Cuba recibió norteamericana una operación a corazón abierto.
One of the activists of the Solidarity with Cuba, she had an open heart surgery.
Y me explicaba que le costó $200,000 esa operación.
And she explained to me that the cost of the surgery was $200,000.
Yo le decía que si hubiéramos conocido de su caso a través del gobierno revolucionario, tal vez si pudiéramos haber coincidido, esa operación hubiese sido gratuita.
And I told her that if we would have known that ahead of time, so in conversation with the Cuban government, maybe she would have had that operation, that surgery free of charge.
Ahora bien, mire, la imposibilidad de adquirir medicamentos norteamericanos como pieza de repuesto, equipo de diagnóstico e instrumental médico.
Other violations of the rights of the Cuban people is the lack of opportunities of getting American medicine, reactive pieces of spare pieces for equipments of diagnose and medical instruments.
Lo que tiene como consecuencia que acudir a mercados geográficamente distantes que traen como consecuencia el encarecimiento y la demora en el tratamiento a los pacientes.
And because of this situation of the blockade that we cannot have business with our next door country, so we have to go to other geographies that they are far away. And as a consequence, that increased the cost and also increased the time that people can get their treatment.
Imposibilidad de que jóvenes norteamericanos de bajo ingreso estudien medicina en Cuba.
Also the impossibility of young Americans of low income, thank you, of low income to study medicine in Cuba.
Es decir, se han aprobado equipos estimuladores cerebrales producidos con empresas norteamericanas.
So, due to the blockade, so the use of brain stimulators equipments in Cuba that they are produced by American companies, so affect hundreds of Cuban patients that they suffer of Parkinson and other neurological problems.
Por no estar autorizada a establecer contratos con Cuba.
Because companies like Medtronic, they are not authorized to have contracts with Cuba.
La empresa Farmacuba solicitó a proveedores norteamericanos medios de protección y productos químicos biotecnológicos para la elaboración de medicamentos en Cuba y se negaron a responder dicha solicitud.
The Cuban enterprise Pharmacuba asked to American providers means of protections and chemical and biotechnological products to elaborate medicines in Cuba, and they were denied that application.
Bueno, miren, algo interesante que hemos estado explicando. Aquí tienen un grupo de sectores donde se ha podido cuantificar el efecto del bloqueo. Miren esto.
So, look at this. Here we have a group of different sectors that we have quantified how the blockade has affected us.
El sector de la alimentaria, que tiene que ver con la alimentación del pueblo, más de 605.000 millones de dólares.
So, over 605 million has affected in the
Food industry.
in the food industry.
Derecho a las educaciones, más de 1.245 millones.
So, more than 1,245 million in the rights to education.
La cultura que para nosotros es, sin cultura no hay nación, sin cultura no hay turismo, más de 29 millones.
So for us, that culture, without culture, you don't have a nation. Without culture, you don't have tourism. We have been affected in more than 29 million.
La biotecnología, más de 171 millones de dólares.
In biotechnology, more than 171 million.
El grupo azucarero Cuba, que es la producción de azúcar en Cuba, más de 690 millones.
So as Cuba is the group that deals with sugar,
La
the
industria
sugar
del turismo,
exportation, it has been affected in 690 million, more than 690 million.
la industria del turismo, la industria que representa a los trabajadores, más de 2.058 millones.
So in the case of the tourist industry that represents the workers, so we have more than 2,058 million.
El sector de la construcción, que tiene que ver con el desarrollo del país, del proceso inversionista para el turismo y otras obras sociales, más de 30 millones.
In the construction industry that is related
30.000.
to tourism and also to the housing remodeling of Cuba, it has been affected in 30 millions, more than 30 millions.
Y el sector de energía y minas, más de 106 millones.
And in the case of mines and energy industries, they have been affected in more than 106 millions.
Bueno, miren, esto es algo increíble, pudiéramos expresar.
I can tell you that this is something incredible.
Estos son productos cubanos dejados de importar por Estados Unidos.
These are Cuban products that the United States don't accept to import.
Oigan bien, Vidatol 30CH, tratamiento probado con efecto positivo en pacientes con cáncer, no lo pueden adquirir los norteamericanos.
For example, American citizens cannot purchase this product, Vidatox 30CH, which is a very effective treatment for patients with cancer.
La melagenina plus, tratamiento de pacientes con vitiligo en la piel, tampoco.
So the medication Melatonina Plus, that is for patients with skin problems, vitiligo.
Tabaco y roles de mucha alta calidad en Cuba, tampoco.
Also cigars and rum from Cuba of high quality American people cannot have access to.
El níquel cubano tampoco se puede utilizar en los Estados Unidos.
Cuban nickel cannot be used in the United States either.
El 26 de octubre del 2016, por 25ª ocasión consecutiva, fue aprobado por la ONU la resolución promovida por Cuba contra el bloqueo por 191 votos a favor y ningún voto en contra.
For the 55 consecutive occasion, it was approved in the United Nations, the resolution against the blockade, where 191 countries voted in favor, nobody against. And that happened on October 26, 2016.
Y solo las abstenciones de Estados Unidos e Israel, lo que constituyó un hito en la historia de esta resolución desde su aprobación por primera vez en 1992 y confirmó el absoluto rechazo internacional a esta política.
So only two countries abstained, the United States and Israel. And that was a historical moment in the resolution since the first time that this was approved in 1992. And that shows that internationally this policy is not approved.
Y con las conclusiones, la información ofrecida a ustedes son el ejemplo fehaciente de que el bloqueo que se le aplica a Cuba es el principal motivo que limita sustancialmente el derecho al desarrollo.
And as conclusions, I can tell you that this information that I have offered to all of you are examples of the blockade that it is applied to Cuba. And this blockade is the principal reason that limits the right to the development to Cuba.
No es una cuestión bilateral entre los dos países, sino que su carácter extraterritorial se mantiene y se aplica con todo rigor, total impunidad y violando el derecho internacional.
And this is not a dispute between a bilateral dispute between two countries. This is an territorial issue that keeps and apply with all the strength and total impunity and violation of the international rights to Cuba.
Por lo tanto, como expresó el líder histórico de la Revolución Cubana, una vez más el pueblo cubano vencerá.
And it was said by the historical leader of the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro, the Cuban people will overcome again and again.
So that's why I'm congratulating the people who came out.
Por tanto, yo quiero agradecerles a todas las personas que están
And also thanking again Fred Mason, President Fred Mason, because we almost didn't get the visas extended to be able to get Victor Manuel to be in Baltimore.
Y
So
también
we're lucky.
agradecerle a
We're very
Fred
lucky.
Mason,
We're very, very lucky.
porque nosotros casi no teníamos la extensión de la visa para que pudiera llegar.
And you can tell your love, and you can also tell that Fidel is also out there.
Y entonces usted puede sentir el amor que